Good morning, teacher. Today I'm going to talk about some microadventures in my life. Story number one. During my childhood, I used to go very often to Salcedo with my parents to visit the family, since my dad is from there. I remember that once we went to visit one of her aunts. She lived so far away from the city, since her house was located in the countryside. She had a super big house of 3 floors. I remember that the first 2 floors um, were habited by her and by her family, and the third floor was destined only for the guinea pigs to live. With my cousins at that time, we were between 7 and 10 years old. We knew how to go to the third floor to see the guinea pigs, and one day a cousin who was older said he wanted to go and touch these little animals. So we followed him and decided to open the door of the third floor. I remember that we didn't manage to take a single step because the guinea pigs came out, and it was too many of them, and began to descend throughout the house with my cousins. We were really scared because we didn't know how to our parents or our family members were going to react. When the guinea pigs start to come down, the face of all of my relatives was really funny because no one expects that all the guinea pigs to come down. I remember, and sometimes it makes me loud. Some of my cousins start to scream, and then they saw the whole family inside the house trying to catch all the guinea pigs to bring them back up. It was fun, and I tell it because for me, picking up and bringing up all the guinea pigs was a great adventure. The second story. In this story, I was about like 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. At the time, I went out to play a lot with my friends, and I had in my neighborhood. I remember that it was Thursday and I was in exams at school, so I convinced my mom to to let me go out to play with my friends. She agreed, and I left my house with my bike. I met my friends and I went to ride around all of the streets of my neighborhood. And the day was very nice and sunny, so no one was with big sweaters or big jackets, and it was a really big mistake because while we were playing in the park that that was near um, that was near our neighborhood, there began to rain very ugly. So there were about like 7 of us, and we we were trying to find a shelter to avoid getting wet. Right there was a tree house, so we climbed up to take shelter. I remember that after we climbed up, we all saw each other and started laughing, and then we got scared because it didn't stop raining and our bikes were full of mud, just like us. Obviously, after that, we all had a really bad flu. Story number three. This story happened in another country during November 2022. My sister and I traveled to Chile to go to a music festival. Some of groups that we like were going to perform there, so we decided to go. When we arrived in Chile, And the day of the concert arrived, we were very excited. So we got up early and left the hotel at 7 in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning to go to the stadium where there the festival was. The entrance line was too long, and we had to wait for almost 4 hours under the sun, in spite of having bought a VIP pass because the entrance line was for VIP. Um, Inside the place, it was a chaos because the organization was terrible. I remember that this space was exclusive, but there was absolutely nothing. When it was time for us to enter the venue, many people started running, causing an stampede. And I separated from my sister. She's older than me. So I was really scared because I didn't, I couldn't find her. hmm And so I had a picket of my favorite artist. So with that, she was able to locate me thanks to it. Mhm. When we were already in our place in the barricade, my sister began to feel really bad and faint. I got a panic, and then the staff of the festival took her to some tents with medical attention. Um, I couldn't be alone, so I left the barricade and I was all super back. I could hardly see the stage, and the worst thing is that it started to rain, and it was just 4 p.m. I mean, so the hours passed, and around 7 p.m. the festival began. Everything was very nice, endured the rain, but hail began to fall, and the festival was suspended due to the weather. Of the six groups that we are going to perform, only three only three did the performance, and none of them the group that my sister and I gone for. And we were very sad because we spent a lot of money and we were looking forward to see them, but we couldn't. So this is anecdote of adventure that I remember the most. Apart from being recent, it left me like a trauma. And yeah, thank you so much.